national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry, he was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy.
What's nose candy, Precious?
Cocaine.
So he was addicted to nose candy, a bloated druggie.
That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Elysium Bay.
That's a lot to process.
His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms.
I'm sure it did. So where's he buried now? Can we grind his bones to powder and get high off it?
Beneath the cold waters of the Elysium Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum. A group of marble pleurons still surround the king's vandalized tomb. A deathly cold wind sweeps up candy wrappers and old newspapers.
I mean, I'm assuming that like marble pleurons are some sort of statue and things like that. Pleuron, like this just means criers. Are they like statues? Like, are they like weeping angels? Oh my God! We better not blink.
The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinaise was leveled.
I like how turn of the century is like hyphenated.
Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces.
Who restored the monument?
Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city.
I like irony, but I'm not sure this is the right kind of it.
The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit.
I really don't get art.
Neither do people in Martinaise. The statue has proved to be controversial in a neighborhood mostly populated by the left-leaning working class.
Not left-leaning enough is how I feel.
Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. Not that he ever did in life either.
Any? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Bold slogan, Human Ox, covers the truck. They're human ox hybrids. Actually, given this game, who knows? Money! Confiscating it for an investigation.
A wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph.
I think something just progressed.
In her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face.
Can I process this net? Whoa! Whoa! Wait! What is with all this electricity? Yeah, rigorous stealth critique is done, but I'm betting we have to be out of the conversation for it to trigger. Okay.
The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. Maybe she's your...
I like that. Like, I like the idea that I'm not trying to pull a scam here. My character's having a genuine moment of confusion as the thoughts in his head are filling something. Maybe she's your grandma?
Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. Her hair is gray like lead.
Excuse me, ma'am. I'd like to ask you some questions.
No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
Snap your fingers in front of her face. Which is rude, but at this point I'm worried about her.
Wait,
The lieutenant stops you before you can snap.
she's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
Why?
Why? I just told you why.
Okay. You say so, Kim.
Rigorous self-critique.
Here we go.
Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes.
The fuck?
Against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience of your friends, you drowned in a neurotoxin. You let misery win, and it will keep on winning till you die, or overcome it.
Yeah, let's not look at this art too closely. Jesus. Int and Psi red check failures. Heal +1 morale? Wait. When I fail at red checks now, I'm going to heal? Huh. Huh. Learning cap for pain threshold raised to 6. Huh. The first step to betterment is honesty. White morning's going to come soon. All right. Oh, I guess it's just they're routing to me. I thought, are they connected in some sort of magic way? But no, they're just routing down to me. Okay. What's in the box? What's in the box? A white tank top, +1 physical instrument. I do like the drama, though. I think I gotta keep the drama top. The insane mesh top. Ruins full of snow. No one lives here anymore. Okay, so that is all for this area. Okay, so this area doesn't go on forever, which is good. Got some money. We got a little XP. Oh, I wonder if we can go back to that lady at some point. Now, the giant novelty check. Did I have to go and cash it in? Change at a Fritz store. But I thought I was supposed to give it to Gart. Let me just check with Gart for a second. Oh, shortcut to the right. Okay.
Can I help you?
What, my bill?
20 real.
I have this giant novelty check.
You must be kidding, right? Yeah, good one, officer. Real funny. But this establishment only takes cash. Now, do you have that cash, Mr. Novelty Check Man?
Frit, near the gates. They'll exchange.
Then why are you wasting...
Alright. What I need is that door to be open as a shortcut. Not that it matters now, but... Is it... Through here? Oh, over that little thing! Okay, so there's a route. Alright, cool. That's the tar machine. Do I just... With you?
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Yeah, did we not do this in the save? You said I wouldn't want to fuck with Frito. Why?
Because Frit has an army.
Wait, you mean, like, mercenaries ready to kill people?
Yeah, like 2,000 or so.
It was like Cyberpunk, or, well, yes, Cyberpunk, but also Shadowrun, where all the corporations have armies. Why would Frito need an army? It's just a corner shop.
I don't know. It stops people from robbing Frit, I guess.
I know there's tar
I know
machine,
there's an army.
but I wasn't sure if
I mean,
this was for a
I
cash
wouldn't
machine or
fuck
what. But
with them anyway.
we'll see.
Businesses often hire private security this side of the river. It's an unfortunate state of affairs, but not unheard of.
But that's what the cops are for.
You think the police, like, bother catching shoplifters? Frit polices themselves, so yeah. Anything else you wanted?
I need to exchange this novelty check for cash. Give her a novelty check and gain 25 real.
Wow. I didn't know you worked for the union, sir.
She rolls up the giant novelty check, looks like she's seen it before, and slips it under the counter.
Anything else I can do for you?
No, you don't work for the Union. The Union works for you by supplying you with cash.
That's what we're going to keep telling ourselves. I think I've turned in... I don't know if I've got any more bottles. I don't know if I need the bag in hand.
The tear machine your bottles clunk into the machine.
Cool. I don't need the bag in hand. That's good. I think I need it in hand to pick up the bottles, though. All right. Let's go and take a look at that body now. Yep, there he is.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Well, it's down.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
A field autopsy, you say?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
I can count 2.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
The fuck are they on about?
Oh,
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
don't we have someone else for this? Like a doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From autopsy to cleanup to social work. Everything.
Wait. Honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able. Usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is Lieutenant Detective.
Yes, I totally feel like a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now, the way I see it,
He looks at the corpse with some disgust.
it's either this, or we complete the initial interviews. We already met Evrard, that only leaves the Wild Pines representative. There's one in town, negotiating the strike. She could have information.
Listen, let's get shit started. Let's do this.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Yes, certainly.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Muindi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epui Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
It's okay, we're gonna fake it till we make it. And I am gonna get some bubbly water. Trying to stay hydrated. Just gonna wait, we got 30 seconds left to the ad break on Twitch. We're gonna let that play through. My apologies that I don't get any notification whatsoever about ads on YouTube. In fact, I strongly suspect that ad breaks on YouTube are not synchronized in any way, so people get them at random times. But as a reminder, you can have both the Twitch stream and the YouTube stream open, maybe. I mean, I guess not on a phone, but you could alternate back and forth if you don't miss anything. So that'll be part of it. Okay, so I'm not saying this out loud, which is good. It's like, why don't you know? What use are you? Like, why don't I know what a field autopsy is?
You must have me confused with the Copperpedia.
Who's the Copopedia? I think I need to talk to him.
You, sir. You are the Copperpedia.
Do you have another pair of gloves?
Unfortunately, no.
I have gloves on, although they're fingerless gloves. All right. I'll do it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And hygienically?
All right, I need a pair. Can we do this shortly?
Let's not go glove hunting, please. Let's use division of labor. I perform the anatomical side, while you take notes.
All right. Just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
I'm a real cop.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
Look at me. I should probably go through and read more of the things in the ledger. All right. Open your ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists describing the condition of his skin and organs.
Even if they weren't fingerless gloves, they're not latex or anything, so, like, the seepage, ugh!
Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
Let's skip it. No, we're going to pretend we're a real cop for a little bit. Step 1, assistant.
That's you.
Write the initials. Ooh, but I know my name. I can write my actual name. Harry Dubois.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says,
That's funny. So if I hadn't gone to talk to Everard yet, I wouldn't know my full name, so I wouldn't be able to write it in properly. All right. 2, coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
He just knew that off the top of his head?
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date,
Oh.
0803, and time of arrival,
Oh.
0815, on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
That's fine. Kim's a better cop anyway.
That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
But I do know my initials. Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
I know.
HDB 41 0803. Help me out with the time of day, anyone? 11:11. It's meaningful.
But it's not accurate.
10:15. It's understated.
But we're using the same date. Shouldn't I have used the date where I saw the corpse? Well, it's the same day. No, we saw the body at the same time. Whatever. When in doubt, go with drama. I love drama. And that's after Kim's time. Oh, yeah, 8:15. Whatever. Let's go with drama.
Good. Let's go with that.
The lieutenant is quite surprised you managed to come up with an adequate case number.
3, name.
NA. Next.
Date of birth.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
Right, about 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Race.
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish.
Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex.
Fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Right, fucky. Right, pig's gonna have sex. On another run, maybe. No. We're gonna, right this moment, and we keep flipping back and forth. In this moment, we're pretending to be a cop. We're gonna write male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death?
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
March 4th.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
HDB 41 0803.1015. Listens, motionless, with the cargo belt still around his
Hey,
neck.
Quill, pay attention. There's a
Only
new
one
subscriber.
box
Hey, listen.
remains.
Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Ah,
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
I agree. Lividity pointed to a lynching.
Then again, the right lividity is easy to produce if you know what you're doing.
He places his hand on the dead man's chest as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2
Yeah, I've been mostly avoiding chat.
Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon, The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches to make sure she is dead more than anything.
It's like all the cops dealing with various dead bodies simultaneously.
The building is tall, 7 stories, wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Before we do this, I'm going to do the tell me something, dead man, which has been there for a little while.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Oh, no, okay. I've done this.
Come back later, Corporal.
I do want to try to remove the dead man's boots, but we're going to wait a little longer.
Manners and my memento mori features.
Actually,
Possible. Also, see me in your dream.
if we're going to do an external examination, we need his boots off before we do that, in my opinion. So I'm going to try to remove his boots now that we're not going to rip his head off.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Okay, so you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone to sleep.
Can I? All right, fine. External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Kids are fucked up.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Is it though?
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
I do love drama. When am I going to get them?
Patience. After the autopsy, before the body is taken away, there will be a window of opportunity. After the lieutenant has gone to sleep. I hope this has helped you, my liege.
But Kim will know. He will know. I don't want to disappoint Kim. I don't want to it's weird because all this is setting itself up as I'm doing this to steal the boots, which, okay, maybe, sure. But mostly it's, well, I mean, shouldn't we do a full examination? Although admittedly, maybe his feet aren't that important, but maybe that's where the clue. That's where the clue. I will wear dead man's feet. Imagine how sorry you'll feel afterwards. Maybe I should do it and do the bad thing just so I can feel more sorry and become more sorry cop. I'm gonna admit the boots.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design.
Apparently I'm gonna write this part down though?
Tattoos.
Alright.
The upper torso is covered in a single continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent.
About 5'11"?
About 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
Maybe 6 feet? Actually about 6 feet.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with the age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on. Ew. Fuck it. Touch the corpse's hair with my no gloves.
His hair feels wet, soaked with rain, cold to touch. Not that different from a living person.
I'm going to stroke his hair gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to your hand, like thread off a ragdoll's head.
Harry trying to be a proper cop lasted about 5 minutes. Now he's having another one of his moments. I'm going to keep petting him.
More hair sticks to your hand. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below. An alien landscape. There, dead man. You were someone's child. It's all over now.
Yeah, I'm going to say it out loud. There, baby.
The lieutenant watches you in silence.
Sorry, writing this down. Short, light brown hair.
That was some sick shit, psychopath.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown. Low velocity.
Haha, he's calling you weak, Kuno.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
Thrown by a loser.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation.
Write down, but I meant for high velocity. No! We're gonna amend it and make it sound even more pathetic. All right, we'll just write it down as is.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut. It's like got steel reinforcement, I think.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
Can't you just like there's a clip, right? Can't we just open that?
You got just the right tool for that.
I do.
The chain cutters.
Oh, yeah, I'm prepared. Pet the chain cutters.
The hanged man lets out a joyous little bubble of rot from his nose.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
In before a failed die roll?
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Yes, I'm Kuno's pig, I agree. I'm not your pig, Kuno. I'm going to look for a good spot to cut, which is probably going to require visual calculus, which I have a -2 on right now.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast.
Yeah, I'm just going to ignore Kuno. All right, let's do this. Fine. 28% of the time, we get it all of the time. I can't change my shirt right now. You can't change your inventory in the middle of a conversation. Let's go!
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together.
I am the world's
Squeeze
greatest
the
cop!
handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Are we 3 for 3 on our dice rolls? I mean, 2 of them were 72%. Wow. Squeeze the robot hand is pressed down.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck.
It's pronounced
and the dark
Buakwet.
red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
Yeah, I know. On a fail, we got to heal. That's why we're not going to fail on those red checks anymore, because now they give us something positive. The lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
I write it down.
Chest is intact. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia.
He pulls down the man's underpants. Oh, the Kunos are going to love this.
No, it's gonna happen, see?
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
I write down unremarkable. You know, we'd better inspect it ourselves, too.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Wonderful. Let's write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand, he inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. I'm going to pick up the hand.
His flesh is cold, icy.
I'm going to get a disease from not having proper gloves.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Kobo. What can I do you for?
Yeah, I'm sure not having latex gloves is fine. It's good to hold your hand. Did you like it when I stroked your hair?
I did, Kobo. I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
It might be difficult.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were you expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Write it down. Kim no like stink.
Ooh.
He turns...
All for the external. Well done. What next?
I like how his voice is muffled. Internal examination? We gotta cut this fool open?
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Well, I've been talking to him.
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Well, if I may add the moral of the story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromise in its blood supply.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
Yeah, I'll just write NA.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed,
hyoid
the
there.
lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's
Occipital.
throat and
Hyoid.
begins to massage it gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Ugh.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Unremarkable muscles.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaw. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
I'm totally gonna look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Look deeper inside. Could possibly go wrong.
It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat. A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking.
Okay. I'm gonna use a health charge. I'm gonna keep this blank one for hopefully a freebie from time to time. We'll have to go and get some more meds.
Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Okay.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Lieutenant repeats impatiently. He lets go of the jaw. The mouth snaps shut before you. Write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
Looks at the corpse's stomach with mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
And that's it?
That's it.
All right, NA.
Same for toxicology and serology.
I mean,
NA.
we literally can't do like blood analysis here in the field.
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
Reservoirs? No, but do they take obscure trivia and odd tidbits?
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do. This is so video game meta.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
All right, write NA and add toxicology requested.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh, approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks round to the ground, the pool of feces there.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly. Write it down. Keep the voila. This feels like something drama would want me to do, so I'm going to do it.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries. Summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
What about the injuries we have inflicted? I did shoot him in the belly.
Oh, so we inflicted them?
This is a team effort, Kim. We're in this together.
You mean the spin-stabilized munition from a kill A990 muzzleloader lodged in his lung?
Uh-huh. That one.
That was not a team effort. I just missed my shot. Also, let's not mention it. Muddies the water.
I agree. The waters are muddy enough. But anyway, it was your gun and my shot. So again, team effort.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries.
1. Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Fatal injury. He died from, like, bird bites. No. Non-fatal. Post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
Punk-ass bitch threw rocks with minimal strength.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal. Post-mortem.
Right. Next.
Ligature mark.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
That's very interesting. So, okay, what I read from this, right, if the cervical column had been snapped, it would probably be in a drop from a much higher height. Like, he estimated 1 to 1.5 meters. But, so, enough to break the hyoid bone, but not enough to break the cervical column. So he was dropped, but not from a tremendous height. But between looking at his hands and now the neck thing, it feels like he might have been dead beforehand, or like unconscious. Like maybe he was drugged or passed out from his own, you know. Some of us have some experience with passing out from consuming too much stuff, too much electrochemistry. So I'll write it down.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Like, part of me does wonder if something else killed him. The other part of me just wants to, like, resolve the case. And it could still be that this killed him. It seems consistent with everything we're seeing about the hemorrhaging and the lividity and all that. But there's something else. Like, I feel like he wasn't conscious when he put up. He may not have been dead, but I feel like he wasn't conscious. I will say opinion, fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. but it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death.
I like he's saying probable. He's not locked in.
We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks.
I have a feeling the game's not gonna last that long.
I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
I'm a real cop. I keep trying to tell you. All right, what now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg
The autopsy form that doesn't mention his boots? All right, rip out a copy.
for processing.
Looks at the dead man one time, then at the slip of red paper in the hand, then the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
Interesting. If I had waffled on the hanging, I probably wouldn't have the -1. That being said, I have such shit perception that since we need a